Hi, this is Kathleen, coming to you live from Techie, Geek Speech Studio. In today's segment, we will have a guest speaker, Mr. Lubiter, and we will discuss about his inventions, the Braille Doodle, Braille Cloud, and the Touchpad Pro. Welcome to Techie, Geek Speech Studios, Mr. Lubiter.
Thank you, Kathleen. I'm really excited to be here. This is awesome. Your podcasts are so cool. I've listened to all of them.
Okay. What inspired you to become an inventor?
Well, I'll tell you, for a long time, I've always liked to try to think of new things and think of like weird things to do things. Like one time I thought of this microwave that would make things cold. What if we had a microwave that we could put things in, like, an ice tray, and then have instant ice? Or you could put in a bottle of soda and it will be instantly cold. So I've always had this weird inventions mind. But when I started to become a teacher for the blind and low vision, I was like, wow, these guys, they inspire me so much. And I've always been into technology. So I started thinking of ways that maybe there's different types of technology that could help you guys and allow you to experience, the internet and really art, that too. Art was the original thing, Go ahead.
That's great.
What's the next question?
What are the goals of your inventions?
The goals of my invention. Okay, so now I have 3 inventions. The Braille Cloud, the Braille Doodle, and the Touchpad Pro. Now, the Touchpad Pro is considered like the Mercedes-Benz of assistive technology for the blind and low vision. I wanted to throw everything I possibly could in there so people can experience art, they can experience graphs, they can experience drawing and making art. So you could take a selfie, for example, and you have 2,400 pins, right? And when you take the selfie, the pins would come up to different heights, and they would make your face, Kathleen, they would make your nose and your eyes and your lips and your cheeks you would be able to feel it on the surface.
Wow.
And say you're talking to someone else on the other line, like a video chat. You might be able to feel their face and their lips moving, maybe in real time. I mean, these are some wonderful things that I would like to accomplish someday. And of course, it would be wonderful if you could just have a full page of Braille. You could just take Braille anywhere and have a full page of Braille, be able to take notes in Braille with multiple lines of Braille, so you wouldn't have to constantly be flopping around with just one line at a time, right?
I know. Well, that's a great thing you're coming up with. Your invention sounds amazing. It really does. When will the Braille Doodle, Braille Cloud, and the Touchpad Pro will be released to the general public?
Well, I'm hoping as soon as possible, especially with the Braille Doodle. The Braille Doodle is kind of like this stick thing that made in China, maybe. It's kind of maybe like a drawing toy. Like we played with different drawing toys when we were a kid, but it would be all done with magnets. You figure hundreds of pins or hundreds of little balls that would pop out of the surface when you take a magnet and you go over the surface. So you could draw a triangle or a circle, or you could draw a little house. And also, if you take a plastic sleeve and put it over it, it'll block out some of the holes so you're left with Braille cells. So you could use it to make Braille using the magnets. So that way you could teach kids Braille, or you could spell out your name, or you spell out sentences in Braille. So a lot of these things, like the Braille Cloud too, the Braille Cloud was made because it's hard to teach kids over Zoom or over these things. It's hard to teach them. Like teaching art. Like, how do you teach a kid art who's blind or low vision over Zoom, when they have nothing in their hands? So to get something in their hands that they could use every day, that would be wonderful. And how do you teach a kid braille if they've never had braille before? Through distance
That's
learning.
something to think about, really. Because I think that invention would really help all the blind community.
My inventions would be able to do it through distance learning. You can, a teacher could have an app on their phone attached to the braille cloud, and they could, shoot over like words like Kathleen is cool. Okay, now read Kathleen is cool. You'll read it right there. And it'll be in big braille cells, and then it will be in little braille cells, so you could feel the difference. So kids will get used to it. And there'll even be a little braille keyboard on the braille cloud, so little kids can learn how to use the braille keyboard too. I didn't say that last time.
It's okay. That's great that you're coming up with all these amazing and marvelous ideas that people dreamed of for so long.
And
so
people
can
read
work.
more about it and see more about it on touchpadproorg, right?
Yeah.
So if you just write touchpadproorg, you can, read all about the different inventions and all the different things that you will be able to do.
Okay. Not only is Mr. Lubiter a successful inventor, he is an art teacher for the visually impaired and blind. So what inspired you to become an art teacher?
Well, I've always loved making different types of art and drama. I love drama, Kathleen. I do all that acting and stuff in class where I do different accents, but I won't start with that now. But I love the arts. I mean, right now, sitting next to me is a beautiful fountain that I made where the water goes up through the center and then comes out two different ways and goes down these two different ramps, and it has hanging from it these moving things and crystals and rocks. I mean, I just love putting things together like that. And when I became an art teacher for the blind and low vision, I was just amazed about how you guys experience the world. And it really opened my eyes to a whole new way of experiencing the world. How you experiencing it physically and, using clay and wire and different things that we made. What did we make, Kathleen? What was one thing that you made that you liked making?
I like making sculptures of different things.
Right. You made a sculpture of an iPad, right?
Yeah.
And an iPhone.
Oh, yeah.
So you didn't say that. You didn't say I was your art teacher, so. It's a great thing. We had a lot of fun.
Can you give us a little synopsis about the Braille Doodle, Braille Cloud, and the Touchpad Pro?
Okay, so we've been doing a little bit about that as we're talking. I told you a little bit about the Braille Doodle. It would sort of be like this plastic toy thing from China, but that would make it cost like $50 or less. So that would be wonderful too, because everything you have, that you try to get in a catalog, that's like $180 or $500 or $1,000 or $3,000. Imagine something you can play with that's just like $50 or $40. That would be great, right?
Yeah, well, that's great that you're making these inventions that are affordable, because not many people can afford Braille notes and stuff,
Yeah, exactly. Not too many people.
No.
And if you could, and with the Braille Doodle, we could give them out to all of our students. We could just give them out to all of our students, and they could take it home, and they could play with it, and they could, we could teach them how to do Braille over the phone. Now, the Braille Cloud would cost about $1,500. So it would be $1,500 because it has a lot of electronics, and you would have to like jig it up to a telephone app, so the teacher could use an app to teach a kid Braille who's sitting at home. So I think that's so cool. And the Touchpad Pro, I mean, it'll do so many amazing things. I just think it'll be wonderful. It'll be like having your screen on an iPad or on an iPhone just become 3D. So all the apps you'll be able to feel, everything will be spelled out in Braille, so you could choose an app by like saying, okay, this is the Maps app. And how about this, Kathleen? How about walking through town and having a moving map
Well,
that tells you where you are?
That's amazing. I can't believe this. Really.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, I mean, it would be great.
So I think electronics, and assistive technology is going to change a lot of things in the future.
That's great. So thank you for attending this segment, Mr. Lubiter.
No problem. It was a lot of fun.
Don't forget to tune in for more segments and have a great week.
Yeah, have a great week.